Hi, this is Kirk Taylor at San Marcos High School, and I wanted to show you in this little video here a couple of things to think about if you want to add extra credit into your gradebook. I know it's in term 2 now, and a lot of us have been dealing with this for a while, but it still comes up a lot as a question from teachers. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this and a couple of cautions to be aware of. So let's go right into my gradebook here, and I'll show you my preferred method of doing extra credit. I'm going to focus on a couple of different places in my gradebook. This is an assignment, homework assignment, excuse me, and it's 25 points. Over here is a roughly equivalent in terms of points. It's a quiz, however. I'm going to show you what happens if I put extra credit into these two different places. First off, let's look at the homework assignment. And I'll pick this student right here. Julia has 84%, and right now it's kind of just a middle B in her grade. If I take this assignment and double click on the score, I get into this little comment window here. Let's say I want to add 5 points to her score for something extraordinary that she did that deserves some extra credit. So if I add 5 points to that, that's 29. And I'll put in here as a little memo there, 5 points extra credit. And I could go into more detail there if I wanted to explain why she got the extra credit. I could just put that right in there. Click Save. And yes, you get a little warning there. Yes, it was more than the maximum. And I'm going to close that window now. And you'll notice that her grade went from 84% up to 87%. Maybe it was 85, I forget. But it went up a couple of points from adding that 5 points extra credit, which is kind of a lot of extra credit points. Okay, so let's go back into that and take that out and show you what happens if I put that same 5 points into a different place. Okay, so that was at, let's see, 5 points, she had 20, oops, not 224, 24 points. Okay, save and close the window. Now let's go back into this. So she had 84%, okay? If I add that same 5 points to this score here, going from 21 up to 26, okay, and it wasn't 2 extra credits, it was 5 points extra credits. So let me just change that. You got 5 extra credit points. This way I am reminded of how many points are extra credit. It kind of gives me a way to figure out what her original base score was. And again, I could put in some explanation as to why she got those points, doing an extra assignment or whatever it was. And I click OK, and I click Save, and now notice what happened to Julia's grade. It went from 84% all the way up to 101%. Now, to me, that's not right. I should not have one extra credit assignment take a student from a middle B all the way up to over an A+. So that is a caution that you have to be aware of. And it's all because in my gradebook, tests are worth 70% of their grade, whereas homeworks are only worth 20%. So if you use that grade weighting by category, you have to be very cautious where you put extra credit if you're going to use this method. So let me put things back to normal here. She had 21, and I'm going to take off this extra credit assignment or note here. So I'll take that out and click Save and close the little window, and so everything's kind of back to normal now. Now here's another way that some teachers like to use to put extra credit into their gradebook. If you have an extra assignment, so I'm going to go back into my assignments here, and I had already written an assignment called extra credit, and it wasn't showing up because I hadn't actually given it yet. But I want to show you what happens if you have just an extra credit in assignment, and maybe it's a special essay that they wrote, maybe it's I don't know, some kind of extra assignment that you made available to your class, and several students chose to do and others chose not to do. And so here's how some teachers are doing this. I just wanted to show you what happens sometimes when you can do this. so this extra credit, let me go back into the assignment itself. Right now, this is in the category homework. But let's say you didn't do that. Let's say you didn't want to call it a homework assignment. In fact, you chose to not even give it a name. Now, this all depends on the grade weighting that strategy that you're using in your gradebook. Well, let's say it's not in any category at all. And when I go into the gradebook and do this here, let's see, here is the extra credit. And I've already gone through and I've used the fill capability of the gradebook to give everybody 1 point. But for Julia, and so now this shows up as 86%. Her grade actually went up from that. Everybody's did from getting this 1 point extra credit assignment. But let's say I wanted to give Julia extra points. Let's just say it was only 2 points extra. So I'm going to give her score from 1 all the way up to a 3. And so that she sees that she got 2 points extra. Okay, and this could be explained in many different ways to your students. So keep an eye on her grade when you see this. Yes, that's more than the maximum. I click, and again, notice that her score went from 86 all the way up to 93. I'm sorry, to 100. Excuse me, to 106, just for that one assignment. Again, I think that is disproportional, and I would not use this method. So be very careful when you do this kind of thing. It was only 2 points, but look what the effect was on her grade. Okay, so let me go back in here and show this again. Put it as a 1. Remove the extra credit note. Save and close the window. And now what I'm going to do is change this assignment in here from a category of none into a category of homework, and see what happens there. Do the same exact thing, just to show you the effect this has. Okay, go into the gradebook and change her grade from that, again, from a 1 to a 3, adding 2 points extra. Okay, but now it's in the category homework rather than this kind of undefined category called none. So look at what her grade did. Her grade went from an 86, and it's still an 86. She's got 3 extra credit points. That will figure in later as the scores get added up, and I could go in here and change this. Let's say I want to change it to a 5. Okay, change that. Yes, I know it was more than the maximum, and that raised her grade up a little bit there. But that gives me a lot more control to do this, and so I can adjust what I think is a fair increment to her overall grade based on her efforts for this extra credit portion. So that shows you a couple of different effects of adding extra credit points into a student's score. Just be very careful on where you put it, how much you put in there, and one final thing is that you don't have to put in whole numbers. You could put in here 1.5, 1.05. You could put in any number you want, and it'll add. You can scale the extra credit that way and sort of manage the effect that extra credit has on the score. Okay, so hope that's helpful. Thanks again for watching.